Now, tell us a little more about your mother. Where was she born, and where did
She was born in Rotterdam. Her father was a sea captain. He was in the Dutch Navy. He was in charge of the port of in World War I when they were neutral, and he actually was an inventor. He invented various he had lawsuits with the Norwegian government, which used his design. Anyway, it's a long story. But he was actually a very inventive person. Now, he married somebody named Boissevin, so the publishing company is named after my grandmother. There is a Van Stockholm publishing company in Holland.
Oh, okay.
And so, in fact, Theo van Gogh worked for them. That's the cousin of Vincent.
He's the guy that was assassinated by the Islamic Revolution.
Well, that's a relative, but Theo was actually the cousin that wrote letters with Vincent van Gogh.
I
contemporary. He used to work at
okay.
But you're right. They have the same name.
Yeah, same name.
Yeah,
same
right.
name. So, how did your mother hook up with your father?
At Trinity College, Dublin.
So your mother went from Holland. How did she get to Trinity College?
Because her brother got a scholarship to Trinity College, Dublin. My father roomed with him. My father went. He worked his way over on a ship and went to Trinity. He'd heard great things about Trinity College from somebody who was speaking at a lecture in the United States, and he heard what a great place it was. He worked his way over, and he borrowed money from a relative, and he's very pleased. He paid it all back after he came back, and he put himself through Trinity College, Dublin, and he studied history and French.
Oh, okay. Now, where did your mother? Did she study to be an
artist? Studied art. She studied art in Ireland and in Holland. She's actually considered an Irish artist.
Oh, okay.
Because the Irish, she went to the Dutch art school first, and then went to the Irish art school, and so she was quite advanced and she was a star in Ireland, having been all over, earlier in Holland, and she is listed among the 20 greatest Irish artists of the 20th century.
Oh, that's true.
Even though she was never actually an Irish citizen. Yeah. She was born a Dutch citizen. When she married my father, she became an American citizen. And when he died, she became a British citizen because all of her daughters were all living in England.
Okay, so she went to live in England with her daughters?
Right. Okay.
Her
daughters married Irish emigres who were working in England. There weren't very many jobs back in those days in Ireland, so they went to work in England. So.
Oh, that was very common. Very common. You had to go someplace to make a living, right?
Exactly.
And so now there's a competitor. There's another publishing company publishing your mother's book.
Well, the competitors actually we like the competitor because the competitor said there's these great books of Hilda van Stockholm that are not available, and we want to make them available. And who loves my mother's book are homeschoolers.
Oh, okay.
And because there's nothing about dysfunctional. They're written before the era of when dysfunctionality became the hot topic in children's books. They kind of basically in the view of the homeschoolers, a lot of the children's books are treating dysfunctionality as, or they're treating what is not the basic pattern of family life as being the pattern. You follow me? And so there are a lot of books that are breaking new ground and are wonderful because they are getting people used to new ways of thinking about marriage and about so forth. But my mother's books were written in an earlier era when it was innocent of any of that, and they love it. They want to get back to an earlier age when life was less complicated. Okay. And because they're trying to, homeschoolers are essentially, homeschool parents are looking for things about families as being sort of the normal thing. and and books about families. And you'd be surprised how few books about families there are. And my mother's books are all about family. They're all about people who are left out, who are being brought in, cultural differences. She's written 3 books about Ireland, Irish family. She's written 4 books about Holland. She wrote 2 books about families living in World War II in Holland.
Oh, okay.
One of them was a Dutch family, and the other is a German family. Because she learned of, she knew somebody who had grown up in Holland. She based it on the life of somebody who had actually grown up in Holland as a German, and it was in an occupied house. And it's a very story. It's a very. Some people think it's her best book. The other book about World War II is the one that's done very well among homeschoolers. It's very historical. If you believe in trying to educate children through children's books, then The Winged Watchman is probably the most popular.
What's it called?
Called The Winged Watchman. It's about a windmill, people living in a windmill, and using the windmill language to communicate under the noses of the Germans,
Okay.
who were occupying them. And so they were. It's a very nice story. It has been optioned for a movie, The Winged Watchman. It has sold, leaving aside what it sold before when it was published by Farrar Straus, it has sold 40,000 copies. 40,000 copies to homeschoolers since it came out by Bethlehem Books.
Okay, so
That's
let's
the name
repeat
of
that Bethlehem book.
Bethlehem Books. It's easy to remember. It's like Boissevin, but
And they have a website, I'm sure.
and they have a website, BethlehemBooks.com.
Books.com, okay.
Right. Yeah, and they sell. I'm going after the books that they didn't pick up.
Okay.
So they have about 8 or 9 of her books. I will have done 5 of them. My intent is to do them all. All of my mother's books will be available.
That's terrific.
And so we're doing them basically 3 or 4 books a year. And so pretty soon we'll be running out.
Well, it's very interesting. I don't think people understand how, you're a good example, and we should get you, and if I can get a friend of mine up again this summer, talk about self-publishing books.
Right.
That you can do a book, and these self-publishers will keep it, and you can order 10 copies or 5 or 15, or the books are, that you don't have to go anymore and order 8,000 copies like you used to.
Well, this is, the part of publishing that people like, that's impressive, is picking the books, editing them, picking the covers, making sure that the design is appropriate. That's the part that people like. The part that people don't like is the billing, the shipping, and the collecting. And the other part of it that some people don't like is the promotion. So I think promotion is fun, is good too. So but I'm trying to get away from the billing, the shipping, and the collecting. And there's an association in the United States called the American Book Producers Association, ABPA, which I was a member of for a while, and they do everything but the billing, shipping, and collecting. They would try to get books together, and they will bring them to the publisher and say, this is all done for you. All you have to do is put it out and do the billing, shipping, and collecting.
Well, with that thought, I'll say goodbye because we're down to 1 second. And thank you, John.
Thank you.
It's very good.
Enjoyed it.
Yep.